Nicholas Marcus Thompson.
Madam Chair, ambassadors, delegates, it is an honor to be here at this inaugural session of the Permanent Forum for the People of African Descent. I represent the Black Class Action Secretariat, a Canadian nonprofit organization that is working to dismantle systemic discrimination and anti-Black racism in public institutions and private institutions. We're here today alongside Canadian non-government organizations to bring international attention to anti-Black racism and systemic discrimination in Canada. Despite Canada's pledges on the world stage, Canadians of African descent face systemic anti-Black discrimination and in employment, education, housing, the justice system, and other sectors. I will focus my brief remarks on employment. For decades, Madam Chair, federal public service workers of African descent have faced significant discrimination, both at the hiring and promotional stages of employment. As a matter of fact, Canada recently apologized 106 years later to the descendants of Black soldiers who face anti-Black hate and anti-Black discrimination in the First World War. While those same descendants continue to face anti-Black hate and anti-Black racism in Canada's public service, Canadians of African descent are disproportionately impacted by policies and practices that create systemic barriers to their hiring, promotion, and advancement, leading to gross underrepresentation of workers in leadership levels. While Canadians of African descent are overrepresented in the prison system, Canadians of African descent experience high levels of anti-Black racism at all levels of employment in the government, leading to racial trauma, often manifested in anxiety, shame, loss of confidence, dignity, and significant financial losses, and even suicidal ideation. Black women are acutely impacted. Single mothers and grandmothers, often retiring after decades of loyal service in the public, for the public service of Canada, retiring on the poverty line in the same entry-level positions that they were hired in. So from not being hired, to being hired and never receiving a promotion that they're qualified for, to being told that we should go back to the good old days where we had slavery, to being forced to retire on medical grounds due to anti-Black racism. Madam Chair, this is the painful reality of people of African descent in Canada. At the federal level, the highest level of government, this is contrary to Canada's international human rights obligations as it pertains to the right to non-discrimination. 400 years, Madam Chair, that is the amount of time that Black people have lived in Canada, contributing immensely to Canada's prosperity, all the while being oppressed. Enough is enough. We will not wait another century for progress. So today we call on this permanent forum to call on the Government of Canada to honor its international obligations, Madam Chair, to do what it calls on other countries to do, to treat Canadians of African descent with respect and dignity and end the practice of anti-Black racism and systemic discrimination. Canada is better than this, and we will do our part to continue pushing for a better Canada and a better world, one where we can fully participate. Thank you, Madam Chair.